Welcome back, Jeremy. It's great to see you in my office again. I'm Miss Hobbs.
Hey, Miss Hobbs, how you doing?
Just to let you know who I am again, I'm a school counselor here at Houston High School. And basically, I just want to always start our conversations off by letting you know that any and everything that we talk about is going to be strictly confidential. The only time I have to report anything is if we ever have a conversation about you hurting yourself or somebody else. Do you understand fully what I mean by confidential?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Well, what brought you in today?
Miss Hobbs, I'm really grateful that you said that everything was going to be confidential because what I have to say is kind of embarrassing, and I'm really ashamed to speak about it.
Okay, well, this is definitely the place where you come and have those conversations, and you could be comfortable in knowing that it's in between these four walls. So go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Well, my mom and my dad, they're going through a divorce.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, ma'am. And at this point in time, that honestly, I think I'm gonna wanna. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I know I'm gonna have to make a decision between two of my parents, and I think I want to live with my dad, so I don't know how to approach my mom in the situation.
Okay, so basically what I'm hearing here is that the problem is that once they do divorce, they're going to be living separately. And now you're being given the task of figuring out which household you want to live in. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I definitely understand how that's a very big decision. Fill me in on where you are as far as which way you're leaning.
Well, honestly, I think me staying with my dad would be, beneficial to me because from what he's telling me, his job is in spring, so he's not going to leave the spring area. And I'm being a senior in high school at this point. I kind of had got it figured out on the direction I want to go. So I want to stay in spring. And my mom, she's more partial to the other side of town because she's going to take on different responsibilities, and she's going to move to the southwest side of town, which is A-Leaf. And I'm a little worried about it.
I'm noticing that when you begin to talk about moving to the other side of town, it's almost as if your whole expression changes. What is it that is going to be the deal breaker as far as keeping you either here in spring or wanting to go live with your mother? Is there something holding you back besides just your parents?
Well, Miss Hopkins, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know this sounds selfish, and I know my parents have their own thing going on, but I really enjoy my friends. And I really like what I've been doing so far, for the past few years. And I'm really getting really good at basketball, and I think I got a future in that. And me and my guys, we've been doing this for our whole lives. And, taking on moving to another side of town is a big responsibility, and I'm really worried about it.
Yeah, I could definitely understand feeling a little anxious about possibly uprooting yourself. And I mean, I also know that with your parents divorcing, that's a big change within itself. So, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of different things here. I definitely would think that you would want to, make a decision that's best for you out of this kind of situation. So I definitely understand what you mean when you say you're kind of anxious about all this. So once you make that decision, as far as saying, because it sounds like you're wanting to stay with your dad, what exactly is it that you're looking forward to in reference to like the conversations you're having with your parents? Are they going to ask? Is this something that you just make a decision? How is that going to work?
Really, Miss Hobbs, I've been thinking about it a little bit. And with my mom, I think I can kind of like smooth it over with a little bit because, with the relationship we have, I think I can play the nice guy with her and she'll accept it a little more than me just coming in like, hey, mom, look, I want to stay with dad.
Right.
So, in a sense, I can just say, hey, mom, I love the side of town you're living on. I would come stay over there. We can hang out every weekend and things like that. But for my educational standpoint, I want to stay with dad just because, I've already established this and, I'm working on this things with my, my fellow basketball players. And I'm a little more comfortable being on this side of town than I would be starting all over, especially with me being a senior. Come on, I got a couple more months of school left.
Okay. Well, I think that that's a great conversation starter. It sounds like you've given it a lot of thought, and it sounds like you've kind of even started the process of making a SMART goal. Have you ever heard of that before? Making a SMART goal?
No, no. What does
Well,
that mean?
basically, whenever you're faced with a problem, you're able to make goals that will help you to naturally get through the process of solving it.
Okay.
So, in this case, SMART is kind of like an acronym. It stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time frame. And the conversation that you have to have with your mom could kind of like be built into a SMART goal. You can have a goal of speaking with her, and you can talk about specifically what you want to talk to her about, and then measure if you've gotten your point across by either coming back and saying, hey, did I say exactly what I meant to say? Achieving that goal by actually having the conversation. It's very realistic. And give yourself a time frame of exactly how long you have to have this conversation before it turns into a decision that has to be made immediately. So I hear right now that the complaint that you're having is that you want to have this conversation with your mom. So let's establish a couple of goals in that conversation. What exactly is it, just like you said, that you want to say to her? It's just about, your need to stay on this side for academics and possibly getting into basketball, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'll take a couple notes for you, and we can review these at the end as your SMART goal, and then you can take them home, review them before you have that conversation.
I'm really worried about that, Miss Hodge.
Well, I'm definitely glad you came to speak to me about that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so now we have spoken about the specific goal. How are we going to measure if it has been completed? What would make you feel like this conversation has been had to the best of my abilities?
Miss Hobbs, I know this is going to shock you because I know I brought up my mom. My grandma is going to be the big measuring stick because my mom is going to tell my grandma, and it's going to be like, oh, I just don't know what to tell mom and grandma, but I know if mom's with it, grandma's going to be with it. So we'll be able to move forward.
Awesome. Okay, well, again, you've given this great thought, so I'm just going to write that down. All right, so it is very achievable for you to get both grandma and mom to understand how important it is for you to remain in school out here for your goals. Let's skip on down to the time frame. How long is it before your mom says that you guys are possibly moving?
Well, we actually been told we have about 2 months. So, I don't know how strict that 2-month time frame is, but I would like to stand by that. So I'm going to try to get the process moving very soon.
All right. So within 2 months, you need to have this conversation with mom. I know that may change some things as far as where she lives. She might be trying to get you into a certain school out there. So you kind of, don't want to wait till the last minute. So what are you thinking you would be comfortable in? Is there any business you have to handle before having that conversation with her?
Well, the actual business at hand is our Christmas break. Christmas break is coming up, so we really need to kind of speed it up, the process, because we got Thanksgiving coming up, we got a family trip coming up, and I don't want to, stress mom out with, with all the Christmas things and that we have going on, and then we have problems going on with the separation. So I really kind of just want to get it out the way early because I think that just would be the right thing to do.
Well, I definitely am very appreciative of a young man like you taking all these things into consideration. So Christmas break is approximately 3 weeks away. 4 weeks away. Okay. And Thanksgiving's about 2. So are you leaning towards saying it before or having this conversation before Thanksgiving break?
I think it would be best, but I'm a little nervous. What do you suggest?
Well, I don't necessarily want to make a suggestion on that. It's all about your comfortability level.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're thinking between Christmas and Thanksgiving break on our goal, we'll just put between Christmas and Thanksgiving, which gives you the opportunity to have a little bit more flexibility in when you're actually going to have that conversation. But I mean, at least we're setting a goal for it to happen between those two times.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now that we've spoken about that and we have come up with a plan for you to have that conversation with mom, how are you feeling about, the fact that you would still be living with dad?
I think it's pretty awesome. Like, me and dad, like, in the last few years, it started out like, he was a workaholic, but now we're really bonding, and he used to play basketball as well, so he's really proud of me taking on that family tradition. So I'm really thinking it's gonna be a good thing, and like I said, I'm going off to college in a couple months, so it's not gonna be a long-term thing to where like I'm quote unquote choosing mom over dad. It's just gonna be a few months, and we'll be a better family for it, because I'm going to be, doing what I want to do, and I don't think it's going to disrupt anything.
Well, Jeremy, I really feel like we've had a great conversation today, and we've come up with some great goals, and we're ending on a very light note because you do feel great about staying with dad, and we also came up with some good ideas on how to have that conversation with mom. So maybe before our next session, when you come back from Christmas break, we can revisit and see how the conversation went. And then if we need to make another goal about, the way that you split your time between the two households, we could talk about that as well. What do you think about that?
That sounds great, Miss. I really appreciate it.
Well, I am very, very glad that you came to see me in my office today. And just know that anytime you need to come back, even if it's before you have the conversation, you definitely can stop in and talk with me, okay?
I greatly appreciate it. I was a little worried about coming in here talking to you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like talking to y'all, but greatly appreciate you sharing that with me, man.
And I'm glad to see you leaving with a smile, Jeremy. It was great to see you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.